You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. Welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your hunk.
Oh, you don't say.
I do say.
I'm Doge, and this chunk you're chasing, where you end up at the top of the mountain, it's the one you never wake up from.
I think Carter's got to change quotes.
Yeah, I think so.
That was such a fun one. I'm Carter, and what's a bad mirror chunk?
Mirachunk. Ooh. That's my favorite Pokemon.
We only had two.
Yeah, there's only two quotes on IMDb.
Two quotes in this whole movie, but we'll talk about that.
And there's only two chunks, and there is one hunk, and it's Jordan this time.
Hunk.
Why is he that?
True. I installed Stick and Peel wallpaper.
What did that you say?
Stick and Peel.
Stick and Peel.
Peel, eh?
P-E-E-L-E.
Favorite
Stick and
comedy show. Stick and Peel.
Keegan-Michael Stick, eh?
My favorite comedy duo, Stick and Peel. And installed it myself this week in my hallway. And by install it myself, I mean that I helped Callie get it started and then watched her do all of it.
That's very nice.
You got her started, and then you're like, I gotta get out.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I was like,
hey,
it can't just be us. It can't just be us. It's you. You know what I'm saying? She's like, help. And I was like, nope. And I fell.
And you were like,
and then you're like, Keanu.
like, help. You're like, you think I am a Candyman?
Is this old? Is this old wallpaper? Is it brand Keanu wallpaper? Nobody knows even. It's got some floral patterns on it. Whoever makes peel and stick wallpaper, I have a quick suggestion because you have clearly made an incredible invention. But go ahead and just make all of your rolls match at the top so that I don't have to cut 16 inches of wallpaper off and hope that my line is straight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't really do it like gift wrapping paper, can you?
It's insane. That you're supposed to line it up and stick it on, which is already hard enough because they have to overlap the perfect. Dude, it was horrible. Nah. But then on top of that, they're not identical rolls. They have the same pattern, but they just start willy-nilly, just wherever they see fit. And
the worst kind of willy.
But like, imagine if you cut the top off and then it was too short.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
This feels like the same vibe of your frustrations with like Harry Potter. It's like you said stick with the rules.
Yeah.
Make a rule.
Yeah. Like
what are the rules?
If you're going to make a thing that's supposed to line up, make it line up.
Just say a word and
so frustrating.
This happens now.
But we did it. And by we did it, I mean Callie did it. And she was fantastic. She's multi-talented. You know what I mean?
Multi-talented.
Multi-calicoed. Wow. And also, speaking of multi-talented, we got ourselves a nice little triple threat here.
This is a good podcast so far, guys.
With Jordan Peele. And, I was in the middle of leading us towards the main heart of the podcast, but it seems like Doge would like to reflect on the past.
No, it's been good so far. It's been good so far.
You're just being encouraging.
We're reviewing a movie. Written and directed by Jordan Peele. It's his...
And produced.
It's his third outing as writer, director, producer. And it is sort of the third of his, like, I guess we could call it like a horror anthology, like a horror trilogy. They're not related. It's not a series, but they're all within the same realm of horror. And this movie is, of course, known as Nope. Doge, give me a synopsis so we can talk about this movie, please.
This week's IMDb synopsis was written by Universal Pictures.
Good for them.
Well, but what do they know, right? They did Minions. After random objects falling from the sky result in the death of their father, ranch-owning siblings OJ and Emerald Haywood attempt to capture video evidence of an unidentified flying object with the help of tech salesman Angel Torres and documentarian Antlers Holst.
What a phenomenal name.
An
What
incredible
a name.
Incredible name.
What a name.
That's it, though, huh? That's
it.
That's really the synopsis of
That's
the
it.
movie. So I didn't really know, I guess, what to expect going into this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, trailers are obviously one thing, but I have such respect for Jordan Peele that I just assume that the trailers don't give the whole story, which they absolutely
And it was being
did not
pitched as
do.
an experimental thriller on some of the ads.
Yeah.
Or experimental horror.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, that's fine.
Yeah. So before my showing, I got a trailer for the anniversary of Jaws.
Cool.
Which I think is very apropos
Yeah.
because this movie feels like Jaws if the shark was an alien.
Yeah. It's a monster movie,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
right? It's Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sell itself as that. It's so
And
fun.
intentionally, that's
It's
the
so
point.
fun.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at here is that I had high expectations because it's Jordan Peele. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this movie just because it's like so different than the vibe the trailers gave off. It
Yeah.
worked so perfectly for me
Yes.
to go in and just be blown away by this unbelievably
Yes.
fresh, weird, so strange and
Yes.
good. It's like, this is what happens when quality meets just like
Yeah, dude.
creativity is just
Yeah.
the main goal is just to be different in a
Yeah.
good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the mixed reviews are a result of a couple of things.
Expectations, I think.
Number one,
Well-
Get Out is a masterpiece.
Sure.
I don't think that Peele's ever going to top Get Out.
No,
and
I don't
that's
think so.
fine. I don't think this is anywhere close to as good as Get Out. And I don't think Us was anywhere close to as good as Get Out.
Right.
I think Get Out is unfortunately something he'll never be able to live up to, but
Yeah.
that's okay because it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, Get
I
Out
think
was
this
something
is-
he's had in the back pocket for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a horror movie in the way that his first two are horror
Right.
movies. This is the largest budget he's ever been given. And traditionally horror movies are pretty cheap to create because there's not a ton, like you make an effective horror movie by hiding the thing that would be expensive to show in full daylight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is a blockbuster. Like
Yep.
absolutely, this is just like, let's make a summer blockbuster.
Yep.
And it's so different than Get Out and Us
Yeah.
by design. And so you can't compare them.
Yeah.
And so I think the mixed reviews are all people who went expecting Get Out too.
Yeah. And Get Out put Peele under a microscope because it
Yeah.
was so good.
Sure, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
I think the thing too is like he starts in sketch comedy. So a lot of people are like, oh, this comic is going to direct now. And we see people jump roles all the time in Hollywood. Don't Worry, Darling is going to be directed by Olivia Wilde, right? So it's like
There you
we've
go.
got actress going into the
Yeah.
director. I think with Get Out though, it feels like for Jordan Peele, Nope was his destroying of the box. Because
Yes,
I think
I
Get
agree.
Out was so very much to a social commentary, intentionally so.
Yeah.
And then Us, in a way, was not nearly as blatant, I don't think. Some people would argue more blatant than Get Out was. And so everybody's like expecting that from Nope. And it feels like the whole time he's saying like, nope. It's like, this is like meant to, even though those are always going to be themes for him, it feels like this was an absolute destruction of the box. And I think
Yeah.
that's what
Yes.
made it incredibly
Yeah.
enjoyable. And I don't know about y'all, but this movie, I left the theater really, really liking it, but I think it's even grown on
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
I was so pleased. It was so fun.
Here's the other thing, though. You mentioned that it's not. It's more of a like blockbuster than a horror movie, which I agree. But I think it has some of the scariest scenes in any of his movies in it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, this is officially discussion, so we'll get into it. But the scene of the kids in the costumes of Greys in the stable,
that's
before
pretty
you know
creepy.
that it's kids
Yeah.
in costumes, was straight up. Like I told Callie on our drive home, I was like, man, leave it to Jordan Peele to make what is essentially a throwaway gag one of the scariest scenes in a movie I've seen in a long time.
Holy moly.
That
And he knows it.
slow
You can tell.
motion, like how slowly the head peeked around the corner. I was like, my knees were like up in my chest. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not
ooh,
about
ooh,
it.
no.
Yeah, no.
And then it was just kids and I was fine. But
Yeah.
dude, it was spooky.
It was spooky.
And then I don't know that I'll ever recover from seeing a bunch of people get digested in real time.
No.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was pretty tough, huh?
No.
Ooh.
And the screams and everything.
As it
One
was
of the
flying.
I think the scariest element of this movie was sound.
100%.
yeah, the sound design was
By
fantastic.
far.
Sound design,
Brilliant.
and the soundtrack of this movie is
Yeah, dude.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like so good.
Just scary.
Yeah. And then, I mean, raining blood on the house. Obviously, there's just these moments of.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know me. We've listened to our own podcast while we create it. The three of us know me. If something starts to even tilt toward weird, cosmic, unknowable, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now type horror, I am all in. The moment that this thing transformed from flying saucer with a mouth, which, by the way, terrifying concept.
Very cool. Yep.
But the moment this thing transformed from flying saucer with a mouth into like
unfolds
into like giant biblical angel bottom feeder at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
A creature made out of sails from a sailboat. Like, it was so unique.
Some of the most inspired alien design I have maybe ever seen.
It was unreal. The moment, so we're already getting a feel that this is an organic creature, right?
For sure.
Where, especially when it digests, like we've already seen the inside of the stomach, which that's the first scene is like, what is this? I have no idea what this is. And we find out essentially, I guess that's the mouth or the digestive system. When they do that fun trick, and we'll talk more about the big game plan with the Monopoly pieces and stuff, and it turns, our alien turns up, and then it ripples like skin.
You can see the ripples.
Dude.
Yes.
That was, I got goosebumps just now thinking about it. That was such an incredible reveal. And I think it's really
almost looks
hard.
Like a ray, like a stingray or like a manta ray.
Yeah.
It's really hard to walk into the production of a movie. This is from the perspective of Jordan Peele. He very clearly wanted us to have images that burned in our brains.
Yes, for sure.
And that, especially in horror, can go the wrong way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can laugh out loud because it's done.
Show too much.
It feels like a uranium situation.
Yep.
I don't know if he missed on the moments like that. Everything from our time with, Gordy to seeing the ship or the alien in all of its glory was just pretty visceral.
Sure. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that when I first started putting together sort of what the ship, quote unquote, actually was, I experienced two things very close to one another. One was immediate disappointment that I wasn't going to get the story about Greys that I wanted. Little bulbous head, big black eye, scary aliens. But then when I saw the pieces that he was putting together and realized like, oh, this thing it's no longer an alien movie. This is just a monster from space. It's not a traditional alien story. This thing is a monster that came out of space. Mm-hmm. I was like back in so hard, like immediate.
100%.
One of the foundational plays here for Peele is our expectations.
100%.
Because every character is a surrogate for that. And the only one, and I don't know yet if it's my super pump, but I want to talk about him, Daniel Kaluuya, the only one that seems to have to know have some kind of hunch, and the fact that it's because he is so one with organic beings, like his love for horses and that stuff means that he knows a creature when he sees one. It's like, that doesn't move like a ship, right? He's just giving us line after line.
Yeah.
Almost my super pump. I don't think it is. Nope, it is my super pump.
Okay.
My super pump is Kaluuya specifically reacting to the environment.
Yeah, it's very good.
Kaluuya is my super pump as well. So just go ahead and co-sign me on everything.
He was very close to my super pump.
The way Kaluuya had the most subtle control I think I've seen in a long time of this movie, because he is borderline a deadpan character, but he put on a thinking, like I saw him processing.
Completely.
Most of Kaluuya's script isn't said. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like when he's in the truck and the blood is falling around him and he cracks open that door to just kind of look up.
Yeah.
Like his expression isn't changing much, but the moment that he's our nope, right? The multiple times that he's like, nope. Like you get a laugh there. Kaluuya also got to, he both had he was in complete control in that he moves the dial to have us be stressed. And then he also gives us relief.
Yeah.
Because most of the laughter in this Jordan Peele movie is nerves.
Yeah, dude. 100%.
Most of the laughter here is thank God somebody is breaking the, like this made more sense to me than just how kitschy and not lame. It's fun because it's got its own, there's a following for it, but like the throwaway lines of like the villain that's about to kill you. Nobody would say that. Nobody would say that. Nobody would say that. There is a realism to how Kaluuya just interacts with the entire space. And he made it for me, man.
I think Daniel Kaluuya is
top.
Underrated.
Yes.
People love him. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I see a genius that
We
nobody else
discovered him.
sees. Right.
Yeah.
I just think that he is not viewed as a top tier actor, but man, I can't think of a time he has ever
how
not delivered.
ridiculous. Nah.
Ever not delivered. You look at
his
Get Out.
nonverbals to me.
It is, because even in Get Out, he cries. His freak out when Rose won't give him the keys. All these are big moments. But
Yeah.
then we contrast that with Nope. He's so subtle in this movie, but just as effective. He's so impressive.
It's his nonverbals. He, in both Get Out and in this, he underplays the nonverbals so much.
Yeah, man.
They're so
And
microscopic.
Yes.
But like, he makes sure they're still noticeable and
That
clearly
dude
readable.
has
It's
powerful
unbelievable.
eyes. Powerful
His eyes are
That's what it is.
enormous. Yeah.
I don't know if the intent for Peele before he made Get Out, I don't know if his poster was going to be somebody's eyes yet. Like, I don't think it took seeing Kaluuya. I think the best thing that's happened in Hollywood right now is this relationship. Peele and Kaluuya are the same soul. Like he has somebody who knows what he wants. And you can fill in the blank for either of those because it's synonymous both ways.
Sure.
Like, I think this would be one where I'm cool, bro. Let him be your Nolan's Michael Caine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
just
put him in
have
everything
Kaluuya
from
in
now on.
everything that Peele does.
I'm down.
I think this solidified for me a lot of things about just careers in Hollywood right now. But Kaluuya, especially with his Oscar for Judas and the Black Messiah, like, y'all, he could eventually have some Denzel energy someday.
I kind of think he's going to be considered
gonna be
an
an
all-time great. I really do.
He's going to be an all-timer, dude. And he's just so freaking fun. You forget he's like a borderline Cockney. Like it's so funny, like his real life. But I think
He's
just the way that
also-
OJ...
And I mean this in the best way possible. Just a thick gentleman. Like when he's
a regular
walking
dude.
around, he's walking around in his jeans and his t-shirt, he looks like the kind of person that you'd be like, oh, dude, you played high school football or something. Like you're just a thick
linebacker.
Like if you tripped and fell into him, you'd bounce off. I don't think you'd knock him over. I think you would just bounce off of him.
Another slice of the pie of his acting and his reacting to the environment is one of the first scenes that we do get from him. You immediately, it was brilliant to do this first, to see him on a set and being in a role that he's not comfortable in. I had incredible sympathy for him.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for him because that is so common that it's just crippling anxiety in a situation to where you're being asked to speak in front of and speak on behalf of.
Yeah.
I fully understand. And he did that so well. And again, a lot of that too is the cinematography. Like it's the cinematography and the sound. The moment you can't separate the elements is the best moment, especially in a horror movie, because I can't remember exactly the music that was playing in that moment. I can't remember exactly what the shots were, but I do know how it made me feel.
Sure.
And brilliant.
May I super pump?
Go for
You
it.
may.
It's tough. There's honestly, the more time I have to reflect on this, the more I like about this movie. So I was having a hard time identifying the thing I like most, but it has stayed the same since I left the theater, this one thing. And that is Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
Dude.
She's so great in this.
And what a wonderful thing to do when your top two, you waffle between your top two actors.
I know.
Yeah.
And
that have a relationship.
their chemistry is fantastic. Their brother and
They're
sister,
so
their brother and
believable as
sister vibe
siblings.
is perfect.
Yep.
She was hysterical.
She's so
she
casual.
had me laughing the whole time. Her introduction of their company when she showed up late, she's so funny. She's so charismatic. The moments where she lets the wall down and she's just real with OJ, in those moments, she's so good and vulnerable. But man, her final sprint to the motorcycle, to the run, that Akira inspired slide.
Yeah.
And then her moment of here, the 3-beat with the well, like
Yeah.
the cranking of the well to get the picture of the, I mean, it was it's the most perfect climax I've seen in a long
I
time.
feel like I'm underwater. I'm just in a consistent state of goosebumps
Dude,
right
I
now.
know. And I
Yeah.
think this is, it's so funny. Maybe we need to find a way to just go ahead and do a bonus ep over Everything Everywhere All at Once or something, just so we can have an excuse to talk about it. Because I think that this has firmly planted itself as my number 2 movie of the year so far and might stay there. Like, I don't know that anything's going to knock it down, to be honest with you.
There's just too many things that I could super pump.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's
Keke
like tough
Palmer's
to put the
so
energy there.
fantastic. So fantastic. But
While,
I don't
while we're
want to.
talking cast,
Yeah.
I would love to talk cast for just a brief second
let's do it.
longer.
No, keep going.
Because Keith David as Daniel Kaluuya's father is
so
such
good, dude.
inspired
So
casting.
good.
They look exactly the same, and I had never noticed that
Keith
until
David
right now.
got the "and" credit and
I know he
dies in
did.
like 30 seconds.
a nickel to the eye.
He got the "and" credit for this
Yeah.
movie. That's
So fun.
insane.
I've
Another
never ever put
expectations
together how similar they look until you cast them as father and son here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
totally agree. There is something that I love about this young man, this beautiful young gentleman. Brandon Perea plays Angel Torres.
Plays Angel. Yeah.
Angel's character was
the best.
so funny, so
Yeah.
good. And just while we're on the subject of casting, I'm going to keep going for just a second. Antlers host Michael Wincott. So my first reaction was that I thought he was going to be my super dump. I found him a little grating and like out of place. But then as I've had time to reflect, that Jaws trailer before this movie really put this movie into perspective for me.
It helps a ton, huh?
This man is 14 kids go into the water, 9 come out.
Yeah.
He's that guy. He's the got black eyes like dolls' eyes. Like he's that guy, dude. That is
And he's kind of Bill from Kill Bill. Like he's also this like omnipresent being.
like it.
Yeah.
He was so strange, but as I have had time to reflect, I'm just his flying purple people eater thing, his whole vibe, it just worked for me. And just this obsession of the perfect shot. He already got the shot, and then he literally goes and dies to get a slightly better shot for no reason.
It's
That
because
is-
Because he's obsessed.
Right.
the film deck that he's going through is like, I don't know if you guys noticed that the film deck, the slides that he's looking at, the 35 mil that he's scanning there is all footage of predators, like predatory animals eating one another,
Mhm.
and then footage of predator hunters' eyes just over and over and over again.
So cool.
So some kind of obsession there with that perfect shot. And it is. I mean, I think, the social commentary of Get Out is the selling point of that movie. But the social commentary here of just the nature of spectacle and how dude dies to get a slightly better shot.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the spectacle of like, we're watching it rain blood on my house. And then tomorrow morning, Daniel Kaluuya's like, I got to get up and feed the horses.
Yeah.
Like how we'll all see the most horrible stuff on our phones. Like we'll get on Twitter and watch a video of some super egregious thing or somebody calling for something absolutely terrible. And then it's like, well, still got to work tomorrow. Yeah.
No, totally. I think it's really effective.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny sometimes in these movies, the meaning can get buried, but Jordan Peele is so good at, I feel like a lot of times his movies, once you put it together, you're like, oh, of course, that's what he's saying or whatever. And I just think it's so unique. Can we, no, I'm going to save my super dump. I'm not going to do that. I do want to talk about Steven Yeun.
Yes.
The chimp story. One of the scariest things I've ever seen in a movie.
That was
just by the way.
so scary. Yeah.
To not see that the scariest part is your imagination. And that's another Jaws thing, right? Is like,
It's Alien.
Yep.
Yeah.
is the sound. That's another reason sound was so scary to me.
And
Is to hear.
I thought we were headed towards the aliens are controlling the minds of animals. When the praying mantis came on the lens of the camera, I was like, the alien did that to block the camera. But I think it was just supposed to be about the unpredictability of nature.
Yeah.
But when that chimp looks dead in the camera at the beginning of the movie, I was very unsettled. And then to bring it back with eye contact is the most important thing.
Yep.
So good. But Steven Yeun's character, I assume having this false confidence of this predator won't attack me because Was it Gary? Gary?
Because Gordy
the
didn't kill
chimp
me.
didn't do it. So I've survived
Yeah.
it once. I can do it again and still make a spectacle out of this predator. The hubris of it, the performative nature of it, the like buried trauma of it. I just love Steven Yeun so much.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peele's second greatest strength after just writing and directing great movies is definitely casting.
It's picking the person that you would never expect to be in his project, who is the perfect person to be in his project.
Yeah. Like our brother in Get Out.
Right.
Who's just the slimiest dude in the world.
Yeah.
Who I love in everything else he's been in, but grosses me out in Get Out.
He's awful in Get Out.
He's
oh
just
my
so,
goodness.
yeah, I just think Jordan Peele might, I assume it's him because it's so consistent across his movies, just has this innate
Or at least
ability
he knows
to
how to
work
pick a
with,
casting director.
well,
Yeah.
pick a casting director,
Regardless,
but
it's him,
work
yeah.
with actors to pull things out of them that we haven't seen them do before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's very special. And I assume it comes probably from a lot of years of convincing people to do silly things in sketches.
Yeah. Totally.
I think he has probably had to become good at pulling things out of people that they didn't even know that they had.
Yeah.
And I think that absolutely, I think we mentioned it when we did Get Out, but Jordan Peele has said in interviews that comedy and horror are so close to each other. They're both set up punchline. Just one is
Exactly.
a jump scare and one is giggles, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
you master both the same way. It's subverting expectations makes jokes funnier and scares scarier.
Mhm.
And so I think that I would be interested. I'd love to see Jordan Peele write a book about just the cross section of comedy and horror, just the similarities that he's seen, because I am willing to bet that he has developed this skill for getting actors to deliver the perfect performance for the perfect scene is the exact same way that he would get, a special guest star or a friend that doesn't normally do this thing, or even somebody just to do something out of their comfort zone on Key and Peele or whatever else he was
Yeah.
involved in. And I love that he has developed these two skills that are really one and the same. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It really is.
I think he's a genius, man. I know it's a little annoying to just sit here and
It's a little kino to sit here and wax poetic.
yeah,
about Peele, huh?
I don't just want to sit and be like, oh man, he's so great. But isn't he though? Like,
Yeah.
who else, Denis, Nolan, like you've got these guys, but who else is coming out here and just delivering gold every time? It's a short list.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no like official process or gauntlet or rule in Hollywood, but it feels like unwritten that if there's something about the third time you've made something, like doing a third, and if that gets pulled off, then
Well,
I think you're set. It's
Sophomore
like-
slump is a phrase for a reason. Typically people's second
Right.
projects are their weakest projects.
Yeah. So for him to come back this, and there, you know how much I enjoy risk in movie business
Sure.
because it's, I don't know, it can either tank you or create something we've never experienced before. And that's kind of what it feels like he did, because it is still so different.
Yeah.
Even though some of the roots of things are there in terms of his approach to making a film, the concept is literally of another world. So yeah. Absolute blast.
Yeah, it really is a ton of fun. And so Spielbergian, this movie, like staring off into space at things off camera.
Yeah. Tons of Spielberg face.
It's so good, man. It's so good. We do have to go to shout announcements right about now. Well, choo-choo and welcome to Shout Announcements. Friends, what has 4 legs, 1 tail, 2 eyes and a mouth, a nose, covered in lots of fur, and stalks you through the woods at night? Do you know the answer?
Wolf?
It's not trains, so who cares? That's the answer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the answer.
Good point.
If it ain't a train, I don't want any. That's what
Hey,
I'm saying.
what has 4 wheels,
Okay.
a chitinous metal exoskeleton,
Sure.
a brain made of computers,
Yes.
and a man with a cool hat.
A Tesla.
A train.
Oh, I think they have more than 4 wheels.
Well, they have 4. They have
At
more,
least 4, you're
too, but they
saying.
have 4 of them.
Yeah,
that's
there
what
are
threw me
4.
off, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I said I have $1, it's like I probably have more than $1, but I definitely
But you
do
do still
have
have
$1.
$1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's probably how much money we're going to make by talking about trains.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk more about trains. What's your favorite train that you've ever seen?
My favorite train that I've ever seen is the G76 Rumbler. And you really don't know the power of this beauty until you've stood right by the smokestack and had it blow your shorts around. And then you say, wow, what a train.
Have we seen a train in Fast and Furious?
Ooh.
Feels like we would have, huh?
There's got to be, right? Because they are fast.
And furious.
I don't know.
I'm going to hang on. You guys keep podcasting.
My
I wanna
favorite
look up
train.
Fast and Furious train scene on YouTube.
My favorite train, it's a two-way tie between Thomas the Tank Engine
Yeah.
and the train of my wife's wedding dress on the day of our betrothal. The day of our holy matrimony, where our two fleshes became one flesh.
There's a railroad crossing. There's a railroad crossing in The Fast and the Furious, the very first one. Dom and Brian are racing to get across the track before a train goes. And then there's a train heist in Fast 5.
That's right.
Don't even remember it, which is crazy.
It's a blur.
Yeah.
Because it was moving so fast.
Because it's a train. Because it's a train. My favorite train is the one in Gigli.
Oh. Yeah, I know about that one.
There's a train in Gigli.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
I actually watched it all this morning.
Did you?
No,
This
I didn't.
morning?
I'm lying.
What an awful thing to start your day with.
No, you didn't.
It's not a morning movie.
It used to be hard to find the exact auto parts you needed, and that meant spending a lot of time at swap meets. It's a different game now when you can order exactly what you need from eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts, so you can always find the right fitment. Spend less time searching and more time building with the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
When it comes to sounding professional in important messages, emails, and documents, small changes make a big difference. But when you write, double-checking turns into triple-checking or even starting over. Grammarly is an all-in-one writing tool that gives real-time writing suggestions, so you can get to the next item on your list in record time. The free version of Grammarly saves you from embarrassing spelling grammar and punctuation mistakes. And with Grammarly Premium's advanced time-saving features, you can boost your productivity, write efficiently, and reclaim precious time in your busy day. Streamline your workflow with seamless integration into Google Docs, Microsoft Office, your browser, your phone, and more. Quickly find the right words with Grammarly Premium's vocabulary suggestions. And get straight to the point with Grammarly Premium's clarity suggestions that cut unnecessary words and jargon to make your sentences easy to follow. Get your point across and confidently hit send with Grammarly Premium. Get 20% off Grammarly Premium by signing up at Grammarly.com/podcast. That's 20% off at GRAMMARLY.com/podcast.
I start every morning with Geely and coffee.
Hey, why are we talking about trains?
Oh,
I don't know.
Is there a reason? I thought we just were
I
talking.
mean, we love them. We all love them.
This is what we do when off the air. I thought we were just giving people a little peek.
I didn't know we were
recording.
Didn't know we were recording.
Hey,
I asked
so
you
what's
guys
your
if
favorite
you'd seen
train?
any trains.
That's like train. What's your guys' favorite train? You know what? My actual favorite train. Have y'all seen that guy on TikTok that wears the like fisheye lens in front of his face
Yes,
and watches
I
train?
love this guy.
Any train that he sees is my actual favorite train.
I love that guy.
His friendship with Joe Jonas is the best thing in the entire
I
world.
want to be as excited about anything as he
dude.
is about trains.
Oh my gosh. And I'm pretty sure
I have never felt that joy that he feels when he sees a train.
it's so pure and wonderful. And I love it so much. We're talking about trains because that's what's next. We've got three very different, very violent
Very trainy.
trains.
They're very trainy.
violent trains.
They're all violent train movies.
We have three action movies set on trains.
is
and
there
I
a
love
chill? Is there a chill train movie?
that. I'm
Polar
pretty
Express?
sure Darjeeling
Polar
Limited.
Express. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Darjeeling Limited takes place mostly on trains.
I've only seen Darjeeling Unlimited, the animated series that's set in the year
Ooh.
4000.
All their suits are made of nanobots.
Yeah.
I think what I'm most excited about outside of trains is the name of the series.
You want to tell people what it is? This was
It's-
a Carter original.
Choo Choo Chunks.
Yeah.
Very simply.
I mean,
Very
I
simply
don't.
Choo Choo Hunk.
I don't
Chunks.
want to be like that guy, but I'm pretty sure it was a Jordan original.
Was it a Jordan original?
pretty-
It's a Jordan original.
I'm pretty
No
certain.
way. Look at that text. Look at those
I'm
texts.
scrolling back up.
You can also search it, can't you?
Yeah.
We don't text that much. That's a Carter Origi right
Is
there.
it? Is it?
10:42 p.m. 2 days ago.
Yep. You're right. 100%.
Carter Origi. Choo Choo Chunks begins next week.
I must have thought it. Because I remember being like, dang, there was my moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we were both thinking, and I had thought about it just before
You thought about it right before me.
Yeah.
just before.
Yeah.
We have this shared mental space. He grabbed it off the shelf
Yeah.
right before I was able to reach out for it. Choo choo chunks. Check it out. Starts next week.
Throughout the vast history of our planet, there has never been a creature as inventive as man. From the very first spear to the artificial intelligences of tomorrow, mankind's ability to build is eclipsed only by his boundless creativity. We've built massive contraptions allowing us to cross the ocean in our eyes. And we've built the miracles of miniature computing that we keep in our pockets at all times. But no invention will ever compare with the raw power of trains. Not only do these gentle giants cross the countryside at the speed of thought, they also provide a setting for some of our greatest stories. Join Two Chunks and a Hunk for a new podcast series about the greatest films set within the hallowed halls of these magnificent metal beasts. The new series, Choo Choo Chunks, begins August 2nd, wherever podcasts are found.
Can I super dump?
Sure.
I wish you would.
I will. Well, hang on. First, tell me. So the reflective ball that freaks out Lucky at the very beginning. Our motorcyclist, his helmet looks like this ball,
Yeah.
right? Did our creature attack him because of this helmet?
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay. That's what I was. That was not. I don't know. To me, it felt like we could have made that a little more overt. That's why our viewer is attacking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was, and honestly, it's very hard to super dump for me for this movie. I think that was maybe the weakest connection that we could have made there. I think it would have been fine. Like, even if we have him laying there and like OJ's laying on top of him and the creature's flying over, and then the guy shoves him off, the light catches the helmet, the creature attacks him.
Yeah.
You know, just something like very clear, this is what's happening there.
Yeah. It's such a unique
Yeah.
motorcycle helmet that I have to assume that's why it
Right?
attacked him. Because it's the same.
I
The
think-
horse saw its own eyes, didn't know it was its own eyes,
Exactly.
and freaked out. So I would assume
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he saw the reflection of whatever his eye looks like, its eye looks
Yeah.
like, and attacked because of that.
Yeah. So my super dump is that character even existed. I think if there's anything that I feel like it could be just as good or better if I can remove it, it was that.
Yeah.
I think it's that character. It was fun. It was still just so interesting. This person's voice, the helmet, obviously there's just the way that they looked is very rememberable,
Yeah.
very memorable. But it had a funny moment too. They're like, oh man, if a electric powered motorcycle hits a point where the power just
Yeah.
stops, or however they said
Yeah.
that.
His like squeal.
And just to see him squeal
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
funny. I had a good laugh, but I don't know. I don't think we needed it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is further illustrating if our commentary is on the nature of spectacle and chasing the shot, like this dude showing up and trying to get all TMZ in Emerald's face and then go film the alien or the area himself and dying as a result. Like that still further serves our theme.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
did just feel like that was a little extra to me that I think maybe we didn't need. I think you're right, Carter.
Yeah. You know what works out so well though? I love the use of horses in this movie. I love that they're like a Hollywood horse family, but I also love that the story contrivance of, yeah, they have horses, and when all electronics go down, horses don't. They're still very usable. I think that's so cool. And you get just the best shot of him in that Scorpion King hoodie on the horse through the smoke at the very end. He has survived.
Yeah.
The whole game plan was so fun.
It was.
To just have like, we can mark where it is by how these like, what do you call those?
The guys.
The guys.
I think they're called guys.
the car lot
the fellas.
dancers.
Yeah.
The car lot dancers just dying, like not dancing anymore, was
Yeah.
great and creepy. Like it was just,
Mhm. No,
it was so fun.
that is so indicative of Jordan Peele's influence to me, of like such a strange, weird left field way to show something scary.
Yeah.
It feels like Jordan Peele writes something and then is like, okay, how do I make it unlike anything else.
Yeah, that's not quite weird enough. Let's make it a little bit more weird.
And it's just so good. The walkie-talkies going in and out of function. The non-electronic camera. I mean, it's just all...
I wear my son.
Oh, that was so good, dude.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Such a
That was
good
so
moment.
fun.
The sprint from house to van when they realized that the coast was clear. I mean,
My 1B super pump has kind of been throughout everything that we've been talking about. How I think the setting is brilliant. I think it's because you don't get I think another thing that made this more of a monster movie was it's so small.
Yeah.
It is so it's like it's Jason only bothering you in this neighborhood. It's like Jaws, and again, the ocean is like the biggest of things.
But it's just this
but it all
one
looks
area,
the same.
yeah.
It's just this one area. So this gulch that you can see one of our main settings from the other one. Like I can see the lights of that little
really
theme park over here. And it's kind of living in this. And someone had said earlier, like whatever it is like the bottom feeder, that fish that's in the fish tank, that it's, it felt like a fish tank. I felt like we were just here. Well, and the cloud being the part of that setting.
We got to see why.
Was so subtle and so creepy.
In that same way, because we have that close proximity, we got to hear Stephen Yeun's character practicing his speech, which then tells us Jordan Peele doesn't connect these dots for us. We have to do it ourselves. That's why he reacted so strange to OJ's request to eventually buy back the horses that he has sold him. They're gone. He has sacrificed them. They're out.
Yeah.
He cannot buy them back.
Yeah. So good.
It's really so
good. And our names for the horses were so fun.
Ghost.
Like Lucky's like the fifth build, it feels like, of this movie. And I think that's
I have
so fun.
It's a 1-part super dump, but there's like a 1B to it that isn't connected, but it bothered me enough to throw it in. So I'm going to start with my 1B. My secondary super dump that is just sort of minor is I really, really would have loved some fallout of we have film evidence of alien life.
Okay.
Would have loved.
Yeah.
Just, you don't need that in Jaws because people know sharks exist.
Yeah.
But some sort of like the world is going to change because of this knowledge.
Yeah.
I know it's implied.
You want to see that actually happen?
At least
like
maybe the start of it.
Like kind of the tag at the end of Arrival.
Yeah. Just give me a little something to say like, hey, this starts here in this gulch, but it's going to be much, 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 much larger than this.
Yeah.
My super dump official. We start our movie with scripture out of Nahum about the destruction of Nineveh, the promised destruction of Nineveh for their wicked ways. And I think we very intentionally include the imagery of the final form of this alien is very like biblical angel, like it's so strange and out there. And if there is some sort of logic bridge that he's trying to make to say, just like God promised to destroy Nineveh because of its wicked ways, God has sent this thing. Maybe this is what he was going to use to destroy these places. And this thing is here building strength so that it can destroy us for something. I would have loved a little more connective tissue there.
Yeah.
Because it feels really significant to begin your movie with a written quote like that.
Yeah, I think the logic bridge that if he is trying to build a connection between that is maybe not like this was sent, but just like one of these has appeared at some point in the past, and this is the way people understood what was happening to them at that time.
Yeah, but the scripture used was specifically saying like, I will do this thing.
I will rain down filth upon you is what it said at the beginning. Yeah. And so I think the inclusion of that would be if he's trying to say that like that written quote is in direct reference to one of these guys.
Right.
I think the logic bridge is probably not, this was sent by Jesus's dad. but, I think this happened and has happened and will happen again.
Right.
And here's a record of it happening thousands of years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun to get the actual raining down of filth.
I know.
at one
That
point.
raining blood on the house is such a.
It's very scary.
Ugh.
What's so funny is it was blatantly tropey. It
Yes.
was like,
Yeah.
he's like, how can I actually make this creative though? I don't know, man. There's so much to unpack. I think that's why I end up liking it more and more. I've just now made a connection that felt intentional now that I look about it. Another great pump of this movie is learning how to and then eventually killing the monster.
Mhm.
That it can't have inorganic materials. Like that just messes it up. And then to have it be the blow up of the winking cowboy. So in the end, it was eye contact.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
In the end, it was eye contact, which was just so
And in the end, it was Stephen Yeun who brought it down.
exactly. So it
It's
happens
inflatable Glenn.
posthumously. But
Glenn.
yeah. How did y'all feel? So when we talk about the design, like so much of the unfurling from one shape to the other of this, I don't know how else to call it, of this monster was in the background at first,
Yeah.
which I thought was really creepy. And I really
Yes.
enjoyed that because it's like all of a sudden now our skyline is getting more and more covered up. And I'm like, oh my
shadow.
God.
What is
We're
happening?
just
Yeah.
watching faces
Big is
react to this thing.
One of
but
my
it's-
favorite parts, though, is almost this anglerfish, just basic predatorial
The, like tunnel thing.
tunnel,
Like it's
like the thing that
peacocking?
kept popping.
Yeah.
It just kept popping to kind of, I don't know. It's this could have gone so wrong,
Mhm.
and I think it will
Yeah.
for some people.
I think it has. I think we've seen that in our Discord even. People have been
Yeah.
giving some reactions like it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
for me, it was just so right. I think there's, in a different way, kind of the reverence that we have for the not of planet Earth type creature. It feels like how I felt in Arrival.
Yeah.
Of it was just something completely different that we had to understand. And I think it's fine not to. I think part of it, especially like in any horror movies really hardly ever get from point A to point B and make complete sense. And
Sure.
that's okay.
Yeah.
If it makes sense, it's like we need to kill it. It's dead, right? This bad, kill this. Now we're good.
Now
Wait, actually, it's
now we're
not.
happy. Yeah.
So this year, Halloween ends officially, I guess,
Yeah,
because that's the
I
name of
guess.
the installment.
Yeah.
in October.
October only has 30 days next
I
year.
mean, what else are you gonna do? Halloween's over. But this, yeah, I think it was concise enough. It doesn't need to be. I don't know. The feedback is funny. I think it's still doing really well on. It's as of right now certified fresh at 82%
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score that I think is a little bit less.
I think I
But
liked
I
it
think
better
it's-
than Us. If we're
I did,
just
yeah.
if we're in the business of ranking, I think it makes more sense top to
It's
bottom.
not even
than
not
Us
even
does.
close to me, honestly. Like
Yeah.
there was a moment where I was like, "Do I like this more than Get Out?"
Mm.
But I don't. I think it's really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is a strong
I
second
think-
place of his 3 horror movies to me.
The just the incomprehensible of the creature
Mhm.
is such a strength of this.
Mhm.
It really does hit that Arrival thing of just like we can't understand what this thing is because it's so different than us.
We
And I
never
think
fully see the aliens. They're always kind of shrouded in fog, right?
Fog
Like
and Arrival.
we
yeah.
see their
So you
full
could
length like one time.
I think one
silhouette.
time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But the second that it's like it's dudes, little dudes in a ship, we can kind of understand it.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, man. I think just doing an alien movie, an alien invasion movie as a monster movie, and not like a, it's like a creature movie, like an animal
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
It's a fun
It's
balance.
just
All of
so
it is
brilliant.
that. He's pretty consistently, like the through line of the themes here feels like it's this and also this. Because while he gave us our first ever that I can remember, like organic UFO,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like he still gets to make it timeless because he
Yeah.
also gets to say anytime someone saw what they thought, we've been wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
These are the aliens. It's
Yep.
this. It's actually just this is fun. Because in my mind, there's not a world where UFOs with aliens exist and this
And
exists.
also this.
Well, and
exists.
Everyone's
explains-
misinterpreting.
It explains being abducted by cows. Or it explains cows getting abducted.
yeah.
It's feeding.
Yep.
Now, what it doesn't explain is like they even mentioned it a little bit, like people being abducted and returned.
Yeah.
Those stories, that's not explained here because they would be eaten.
They'd be chomped.
Chomp chomp.
So I'd love to get a
They'd be
little more
chomped up.
of that kind of thing. But
And if you want to talk terrifying. Our POV of the people that get sucked up.
That's
at
what I'm
the
saying. It's going
Starlight.
to stick with me forever.
Ugh.
And like, we don't even fully get like that person who looks up before the big
Sees
screen
the
and kind
plastic
of
horse.
sees,
Yeah.
something just like dangling right there. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Then when the screams
No.
all stop when it's hovering above the house.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's yuck. It's yuck. It's yuck.
Scary boy.
Yeah, there's something. I'm beating a drum that nobody has asked me to beat here, but I really love when horror.
Would you say you're beating a
goes-
dead horse?
potentially a dead plastic horse.
Ooh.
There's something I love so much when horror goes to the inexplicable, the strange, the cosmic, the really, really out there.
Have you seen the Nick Cage
Color Out of Space.
color? Yeah.
Mhm, I haven't.
I just remembered that exists
I know.
like the other day.
I know. I should probably watch
I
it.
want to watch it. Yeah.
I should probably watch it. But yeah, just that sort of weird, unexplainable, don't even bother trying. I mean, when I think of the shape of this creature at the end, it's like, I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't understand how it could live and breathe and feed, but I believe that it does based on the information that we're given. So fine.
Sure. Right. If we could understand it, then it wouldn't be
It's not as scary.
an alien,
Yeah.
right? Because it would be like, oh, it has lungs like me.
Right. And that's why the thing it most reminds me of is just the kind of thing that we would get footage back from at the bottom of the Marianas Trench or something, where it's like,
Yeah.
these little
What
glowing
is that?
creatures feed on the plankton or whatever, like
Yeah.
just a bottom feeder, which opens up the question, if that's what it is, what's at the top? What is the whale
Yeah.
to this thing's bottom feeder? What's the great white
thanks.
shark to this thing's bottom feeder?
No, thanks.
And that's spooky. And I want to see it.
Nope.
I couldn't in the episode without stressing so very much that if you intend to see it, please go to the theater.
Yes.
This will not be the same experience.
This
at
was
home.
shot on IMAX cameras. See this on the biggest screen that you
Yeah.
have around you.
I'm probably going to see it
I
again.
think I'll probably
I
see
think
it
I will
again.
too. Yeah.
It is gorgeous. It is massive. It is like having Kiki Palmer, having Emerald crank the music, because you're in a gully and no one else can hear you,
Yep.
of that record player. And it's kind of covering up how tense it is in with what OJ is seeing and experiencing. Like, I think the balance of sound has to be
yeah.
in a theater. It's got to be that professional quality.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's
I almost want to see it in IMAX.
And
I did not see it in IMAX.
I want to see it in IMAX. I didn't either.
the creature looks, the effects are so perfect. It just looks great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Give me a timeout for 2 seconds.
Oh, I guess he wants to be done. I guess he doesn't want to be on our podcast anymore.
My cat was at the door.
It just seems convenient. I could tell you're not into this episode.
All right.
You're like having a good time or anything.
Sorry, my turn. Sorry, real quick, my turn. It's time to rate this movie using the scientific cinema scale, which is perfect and as follows. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it. Don't lend it.
Buy that poster.
The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it and then stream it. And after that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us.
I'll go first. These are a few of my favorite things. Science fiction, monster movies, cryptids, aliens, UFOs, Spielberg blockbusters.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya's big, beautiful eyeballs. This is a poster for me. This was like, to me, this was just like, in the same way that some of the other sci-fi movies we talked about Arrival, I put Interstellar in this category where it's like, even if this is not the best movie in the world, there's something about it that is so exactly my flavor of movie, of storytelling, that it's like, of course, this is going to be one of my movies that I'm like, have you seen Nope? We should watch Nope. I love Nope. So this is a poster for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's valid. I'm buying this movie. I'm reserving the right to bump it to a poster on a second viewing. There are some movies that I see the first time and I just instantly know that it's a poster. There are some movies that I see the first time and requires a little extra thought. And then there's some movies I see the first time that don't move the right direction. And this one is exactly where it needs to be right now. I love it. I love all the things that you mentioned too. It's very much my flavor. I just need a refining view to really decide.
Need to clarify it. It's a little muddy right now.
Little horror movie going on behind you.
Yeah, you having a Bruce situation?
Yeah.
Just hear doorsteps.
No, he's
Doorsteps? Footsteps.
scratching a chair.
Dude, don't look him in the
I'm
eye.
about to punt him across the house.
Don't look him in the eye, dude.
So I think one of the most fascinating things about this, and what makes it especially Spielbergian, is you can sit here and be like, E.T. is not Jurassic Park, right? You could just...
And I would agree with that statement, by the way. They are different movies.
I'm so excited.
We've actually watched both of them for the podcast.
I'm so excited for Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Because he has come in and given me all of the feelings, and it feels catered to me and the kind of thing that I would enjoy in a completely different package. And I think that really shows the breadth of skill.
Yes.
And so for me, like, this is a poster. I buy the poster for Nope. And it's a great poster, by the way.
I think poster.
I think like High School Carter would have probably had this poster. I think it's so fun. And I have never been more excited for something else he can do. Because after Get Out happens, you're like, okay, can he do it again? Us is good enough. And then now to have Nope, it's like if he wasn't in the top 3 yet in terms of most anticipated directorial installments,
he's
rare. Firmly there, if not number 1. I just want to see everything.
As a director whose like credit alone can get general audiences in seats. Because I think there's guys like Villeneuve is a guy for us where it's like absolutely like if you love movies, you know who Denis Villeneuve is.
Yeah.
But like Peele is so much more like mass market appeal. Like every single person is like, yeah, I'd love to go see the new Jordan Peele movie. I can't think of another director like that. Like maybe Nolan.
Yeah.
But I don't think, since Dunkirk, I think general audiences have fallen off a little bit.
Sure.
He feels like the prince who was promised. And everyone thought it was M. Night, and it wasn't.
It wasn't. No.
But I don't feel like Peele screws up or is going to screw up too royally.
Peele is on a trajectory. It feels too early to make this call, but Peele is on a trajectory that could have people saying the phrase, the next Spielberg, I think.
Yeah.
Here's a great scenario.
Just like the director is the biggest thing about the movie. Yeah.
And it's because it's the second time that we've seen Kaluuya with him.
Yeah.
There is an absolute scenario that 20 years from now, they do another one. And we get to have this veteran director with his muse again. And can you imagine Daniel Kaluuya at like near 60?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just pulling this stuff off again. Like just to
do another Nope?
No. Do another movie
do
together.
A nuh-uh.
Yeah. No way.
No thanks.
It's just all ins. You just have to inflect the right way. I thought it was called
No, it's called
No, I hope that it doesn't take that long for them to work together again. I hope they just keep doing stuff together.
In my mind, there's several of those, but it's I want to see these two grow together.
I hope they do every other one together.
I think they need to. Yeah, same. It's just so exciting.
What really is happening here is that I think we're finding that Jordan Peele is the better J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams was supposed to be the next Spielberg, but I think it's Peele.
To speak Two Chunks jargon, this was a lock it in bing bing. Like this was like, oh, it's official.
Yep. Yeah.
Peele's good.
Yeah.
Peele's really good.
Well, in case you had any doubts, Jordan
He's
Peele
officially not one note because there's a lot of directors that are that.
Our podcast is here to tell you Jordan Peele is good at directing.
And a good writer.
Heads up. Right up there with Michael Bay.
Hey, don't forget.
Like just completely throw it off at the end.
in case you missed our
he's like
David Attenborough.
He's like the Wes Anderson of movies.
Yeah.
A director.
He's directed some of the movies of the world, dude.
In case you missed our David Attenborough shout out earlier, we are doing our train series, Choo Choo Chunks.
Choo Choo Chunks.
Starting next week with Snowpiercer. So make sure you check that out. Honestly, straight up, if you have not seen Snowpiercer, what are you doing?
It's a good movie.
It's so good.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what I think about it. Listen to the episode.
Oops, my fault. I mean, like, it's
I
a
think
movie
you'll
that
be
exists.
pretty surprised what I think about it.
Doctors can't understand why I think what I think about it.
You thought I thought about it back then. Look at me
8
now.
out of 9 dentists recommend
Looks so
Carter's
different.
opinion on Snowpiercer.
Looks so different.
End today's episode.
Whatever happened to what I thought about it?
To end today's episode, 10 child stars and where they are now. You won't believe number 3, which is what Carter thinks about this.
They're also
movie.
the most cruel. It's
know.
like, God, look how ugly they are. It's like, wow.
To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our names and what we would name the sequel to Nope. For 2 Chunks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan Wonders, and the sequel to Nope is called Nuh-uh, and that's spelled Nyuhh. Nuh-uh.
Cool.
Oh.
Nuh-uh.
I'm Doge, and you know how when Twilight was over,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Meyer wrote the one that was like, I'm just going to run it back again, but this time Edward's the main character. I'm going to write it from Edward's
Wait, is that
perspective.
real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Midnight Sun or something like that.
Don't say something like that. You know exactly what it's called.
It's Midnight Sun.
That's the tattoo that
27
you have.
pages.
I was confused.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it.
Yeah. The sequel is called Chomp, and it's from the
perspective
monster's perspective.
we didn't even talk about the fact that his name is what is it? Jean Jacket.
Yeah.
Is that right? Jean
Yeah.
Jacket.
Jean Jacket. Yeah. Chomp. And it's CHAWMP.
Chomp.
Chomp, the Jean Jacket story.
I'm Carter, and this one's gonna be wild because Peele he's being banked. He's locked it in. Even if he fails, he's still got a career for as long as, like, studios aren't going to say no to Jordan Peele ever,
Right.
I think, at this
Right.
point. So he's really going to go out there. We're talking like IFC kind of movies. You know what I'm saying?
International
and
Fight
it's
Club.
really leaning in on the digestive system of our monster
Ooh.
and that process. And it's called
Spell it.
it's UWH-OO.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's going to be people that are going to say this is the Citizen Kane of horror. It's going to be the one that's
yeah.
so highbrow to like
Yeah.
that later in an interview, Peele will be like, no, bro, I had no idea what I was doing.
No.
This is all commentary on once you reach a certain point, it doesn't matter what crap you put out there, you'll get paid for it.
Yeah.
And I've proven that.
He's like,
I tricked
word of
Hollywood.
it
Look
is
what I did.
Rosebud. There was a sled.
Yeah, sled the whole time. Can't eat it. Gets shot right back
Can't
down.
eat it. Monster pukes it out.
Monster pukes it out.
Listen to us talk about trains next week.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to sing it.
We're singing words now.
We'll even sing the business part.
Save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive.
Now, that's a commercial you'll remember, even if you don't remember the bundle and save with Progressive part.
We're singing that commercial.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
This is the end of the jingle. A jingle about insurance.
It takes a lot of ingredients to fix or build a car, like cooking, but without the frozen dinner easy way out. eBay Motors has 122 million parts. It's always the right fitment, so you can follow any recipe to a T. Whether it's a vintage Italian coupe that's classic like Grandma's meatballs, or a German luxury car that's as complicated as Oma's rouladen, to cook up something great in the garage, use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.